Introduce yourself.
I'm Tony from above the firehouse, and I've actually been up above the firehouse, and I can't prove I did it. Well, I like audio-wise, but I can't show you by video.
Yeah.
But I got pictures in my gallery.
Cool.
And I work well with others.
Oh, good. Okay. Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little long, sometimes it's too short. But I have This Week in Disney History, stupid Disney jokes, and then what else do I have on there?
You got the guest host?
I haven't. No.
Does give videos?
I also have videos as well. That's right, Jason and SD.
Yeah.
That's right. So it's just the two of us right now, and hopefully we'll be adding more.
Cool.
I haven't been putting out podcasts as much because of health reasons and stuff like that. So, and time.
Please introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Northern Mouse Death Row, also go by the name of Kevin. We do a podcast from Canada, Walt Disney with a Canadian twist kind of thing. Yeah, we're here in Florida, and that's that.
And we're going to go search for your partner, Carlos.
Carlos is the brains behind the organization.
And you're the looks?
I'm the looks and the kind of the comedic flavor, I guess, you know, keep it light.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Well, thank you.
We have fun. Our favorite episodes of the Fireside Chats. That's my specialty.
There we go. Well, thank you very much. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Lou Mongello.
It's right here.
I'm Mike from LTAD.
And what is LTAD? Do you look at that
Really?
again?
Do we have any kind of? I mean, we don't really. What is it? We talk about Disney.
Oh, there you go.
It's like saying, what is life?
I was trying to give you the opening and say we let you talk about it. Let's talk about Disney.
Sometimes,
Oh, okay.
but most of the time, no.
Well, thank
Depends
you.
on what show you're listening to.
Introduce yourself.
Hello. Oops. My name is Lisa.
Thank you.
Notice the subtitles. I'm cat number 2 from No Starring Cats podcast. Excuse me on my camera. Back off, sister. Yes.
Please tell us about your podcast.
I have a podcast.
Oh, here's your partner. There we go.
She does. She has a co-host. No, notice that it says cat number 2.
Yes.
Cat number 1. We share the titles of Enchantment.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of take turns. Who is which one?
Yeah, whoever gets a shirt. Okay. All right. And he says, we have a podcast. How would you describe it, or what would you say about it?
Okay. It's hard to describe our podcast, so what I like to do is I like to give 3 examples of topics that we have discussed on episodes of the podcast. Number 1 would be whether or not public displays of affection are ever acceptable in Disney parks. Number 2,
Current evidence to the contrary, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Pipe down in the peanut gallery.
Number 2 would be what would happen if Nintendo incorporated characters from High School Musical 3 in Super Smash Brothers Brawl. And number 3 would be an interview with a friend of ours, Eliana, on a feminist critique of Minnie's Country Home.
Where we learned to walk feminine and talk feminine.
We did, indeed,
Okay, good.
as you can tell.
Yes. As we are right now. And it's every week, and it is, look, which one is it? www.thosarcats.net.
And you can find us on iTunes as well.
She's so good at that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please introduce yourselves.
All right, I'm Mike Rallman from the Be Our Guest podcast. How you doing?
I'm Ricky. I'm Pam.
Please tell us about your podcast.
All right, our podcast is basically focused around trip reports. When folks get back from Walt Disney World, we ask them to come on our show and share their experiences, both good and bad, and tips for other travelers. And on Fridays, we just have a good time talking about anything Disney.
The 2 of us, and well,
And Debbie, who's right here, but you can't see her.
yeah, she's
Oh, okay.
imaginary and comic.
Anything else you'd like to say about your podcast?
No, just great meeting you here at Mousefest. And
We should at least have a
www.beourguestpodcast.com. That's it.
Well, thank you very much. Please introduce yourselves.
Okay, I'm Andy,
I am the Heat.
and we're from the Two Finger Point podcast.
And please tell us about your podcast.
it's a Disney podcast with an explicit tag, and we can just leave it at that.
Yeah?
It's not family friendly
No.
at all.
Can you tell me a little bit about what maybe you talk about? Or?
I would say it's kind of it's a smart aleck take on Disney, and I'm a huge Disney fan, and
I am not.
she is not, so I'm dragging her kicking and screaming into the,
I see.
the world of
And
Disney.
I'm trying to figure out why.
So
That's
thank
pretty
you.
much the point, and we're goofy. We like to be silly and make fun of ourselves and other Disney podcasters. You know, it's all in fun.
And so thank you very much.
got it.
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Mark Goldhaber from MousePlanet.com and the Mouse Station Podcast.
And tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Well, we have one collected short subject show each week, which has feature attraction, a highlighted review from the Mouse Planet review system, an Ask the Kid question where people can ask my 10-year-old son anything they want about Disney, tip of the week, magical moment. We also have a featured podcast where sometimes we have interviews with people from Disney. Sometimes we have top 3 lists and anything else that pops into our head. We had a show that just went up about magical moments in the real world. We've got interviews coming up with Jim Lewis, the president of Disney Vacation Club, and Gary Buchanan about the upcoming American Idol attraction. So we've got all sorts of stuff on the show different weeks, and it's a load of fun twice a week. Come on by and check us out.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mark. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brian Marksoff of the Mouse and Gut podcast.
And tell us about your podcast.
I do a lot of live clips from Walt Disney World, and when I went to Disneyland from there too. There's sort of a focus on live entertainment groups. I've done some attractions too, but that's a part of the parks that I really enjoy is the live entertainers. So I play a lot of audio from the various music groups around the parks.
Well, thank you a lot, Brian. Thank you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lou Mangello from the WDW radio show.
Please tell us about your podcast.
My podcast is an unofficial weekly podcast where we talk about everything from news and history and trivia. We have a lot of special guests come on each week doing different segments. We also get some exclusive interviews with artists, Imagineers, former and current cast members. A little bit of everything. We also have some contests, and it's a very fun, relatively long show at about an hour and a half each week, but a little something for every Disney fan.
Well, thank you, Lou. Introduce yourself.
I'm Chris from the Big D, singer-writer and Travelers podcast.
And tell us about the 3 podcasts.
Okay, well, the Big D is a video podcast, all shot in HD. Disneyland, Disney World, the queue, the attraction, good times. That's the Big D podcast.com. Single Rider is basically an extension of the Big D podcast, but it's all the stuff that you can't put on video, so it's all audio. It's good time too, I think. Live food reviews at the table, and just good time shenanigans, whatever. And then the Travelers were a round table show of a couple of us who do Disney travel, Disneyland, Disney World. We just did a Disney cruise show. We have a lot of fun on that show too, so check it out.
Okay, well, thank you, Chris.
All right.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Greg McNaughton from Imagineering My Way, Mousefest, and At the Main Street Cinema, along with Travelers, with my friend Chris and Ozzy John.
I already talked to Chris about Travelers. Maybe you can tell us about your other podcasts.
Imagineering My Way is a look at what Imagineering does in the parks, the ride designs, good and bad. Mousefest is kind of an adult Disney discussion. Not all Pixie, that's a lot of fun. And At the Main Street Cinema is just some ride-throughs of the parks attractions.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mike Hill from Walt Disney World Today and Mousefest Radio, and I co-host the podcast with Mike Scopa, Matt Hochberg, and Len Testa. And we do a 3-day-a-week podcast, listener questions, live call-in show, and we're at WDWtoday.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, please introduce yourself.
My name is Brian Ripper. I am with the All About the Mouse Disney podcast. I'm a co-host with Jonathan, the voice Dictor, your weekly dose of Disney magic and mayhem.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your podcast. What you like to do.
Wow, okay. See, that was the part I had to rehearse. Well, we basically talk about, anything Disney, whether it be Walt Disney World, although most of it is centered around Walt Disney World. But we talk a lot about Disneyland as well, stuff to do with the movies, Broadway productions. Every week we kind of have a different topic. We'll talk a little bit about the news at the top, and we'll have some special guests on there every now and then.
Okay, well, thank you, Brian, very much.
Thank you very much.